Hey everybody, welcome to the stream. It's Friday night. Hopefully everyone's having a good time. We are sitting here in Brazil in our trusty C-130s getting ready to take off. It should be a good time here too. If anyone would like to join us, as always, please check out the details in the description of the video, and it has all the airports we're going to and what we're flying, and you can get a PLN file from the Discord. And yeah, we'll be taking off in about 4 minutes. Enjoy the show. And here we are. Tonight I am going to be giving a little bit of a demonstration on the autopilot functionality and how you can do an instrument landing with the ILS system on here. Our second and third airports are equipped with ILS frequencies, so we'll be going ahead and doing that. So how's everybody's week been so far?
Couldn't wait for it to be over.
One of those, huh?
Well, I experimented after what you had problems with your plane last week. I experimented with mine, and if I spawned on the runway, everything was fine. But when I taxied off and shut down and tried to restart, take off again, I started having your issues. Engine shut down, generators offline, is doing crazy stuff.
Yeah, it's a mystery. I haven't quite figured it out. Every time I think I've got it figured out, it comes right back. Hey, Page Turners, hey, we're not. Page Turners is here. Good to see you, Brennan. Happy Friday to you, buddy. Yeah, one thing I'm pretty sure of is some of my problems were related to being plugged into a USB hub. I have all my, I've got like 3 instrument panels plus my HOTUS were all plugged into a hub. And I think that screwed up my drivers, because when I went and reinstalled the drivers for just my HOTUS, everything seems to work fine. Of course, now they're not working all that good anymore, but I had unplugged my HOTUS and then plugged it back in. Don't know if that has anything to do with it. But at the moment, we seem to be okay, so we're going to give it a shot.
Yeah, just don't shut down anywhere. You should be all right.
Yep. Yeah, I flew a little bit in 2020 just to see if everything worked, and in 2020 everything seemed to work great. I didn't have any problems at all, so I don't know.
That's true, but these were meant for 2020, so that's probably part of the issue.
We'll be flying out of here about 1 minute, guys. We don't need to go too high, maybe 5,000 feet. Our first, all 3 of our airports today actually are relatively decent size. We shouldn't have any trouble getting in and out of any of them. And our last 2 destinations have an ILS beacon, so we'll be able to do some instrument landings there if you'd like.
On the last one you said?
Pardon me?
The last runway is ILS approach?
Yeah, actually the last 2.
Oh, okay, good. Haven't done that in a while. That'll be interesting.
Yeah, I was practicing that the other day and thought, well, this would be an interesting thing to talk about.
Well, I'm sitting currently inside somebody's cargo compartment somehow.
I think Compass Coast is right on top of you.
Yeah, that's probably Coast.
He is. I see
pulled
his name
up.
tag.
Hello.
Hey,
hello.
Coast. Greetings, buddy. How you doing?
I feel like I'm doing the Three Stooges. Hello, hello, hello.
Well, it's more like the Five Stooges today. We have an extra pilot with us. Collected Tick is joining us in a Vision jet. He's not in Discord, but he'll be joining us in the air. Anyway, it's almost time to take off, buddy. We're going to be climbing up about 5,000 feet. And as soon as I said that, my engines quit. Get the hell out of here.
I noticed your prop stopped turning.
This is
no.
This is going to bug the hell out of me.
I got to fly, or I tried flying the C-17, the one that's in the new one in the 2024, and that thing was pretty easy to fly. But I also noticed you can load cargo in there. You can put a Humvee or a
Oh, really?
couple of helicopters and such in there.
That's interesting. Well, I'm going to go ahead and load back in, and as soon as I get in, we're taking
Tower,
off.
Lazerbolt, Lima,
Okay.
Alpha, Zulu 2512 at runway 13 ready for departure IFR to Recife.
Well, this is supremely disappointing. I really thought I had this figured out, but apparently not. I'm going to taxi right through everybody, and we're going to take off.
Ooh, now I know what Demi Moore felt like on Ghost.
Alright guys, Lazerbolt's rolling. Yep, daggone it, I really thought I had this figured out. It was working great last week. So I went ahead and made another C-130 flight plan, figuring, everything's going to be great.
Yeah, must be fall down here.
Yeah, a lot of red.
Alright, let me go ahead and explain all my autopilot functionality here while I'm doing it. First thing you want to do is head down to this little box down here right next to your pilot seat. There's a switch right over here. It's the autopilot main. Go ahead and click that on. And make sure you pitch down a little bit because I'm climbing at quite a steep climb. So we'll do our pitch knob, get down to a reasonable pitch angle. And you'll notice now we're just holding a steady climb in a steady direction. Alright, let's get our climb here to something a little more reasonable than that. Get it down a little bit. Alright, here we go. Now, let's set it so we can follow our GPS line. The pink line here. Go down to this switch here. This is the radio beam coupler switch. Let's put it over to the range localizer. Click it over 1 to that. And now up here our mode selector. Put that on navigation. So we'll click that one over on nav, and you'll notice that now we're turning towards the pink line. Just as simple as that. This thing has a very easy and basic autopilot system. Works really well. It doesn't have all the fancy bells and whistles that a modern aircraft would. But it has everything you need, and it'll get you there. I see I've already shot way past the 5,000 feet I said, so I'm going to go up to 7,000 and try to hold it there. When you get ready to level out, this right here, the altitude control switch, click that and it will hold our altitude. You can see our vertical speed leveling off. It'll hold our altitude at wherever it was that you hit the button. We're heading over to the pink line, so we should intersect with that here before too long. And we are on our way. Alright guys, I'm back on course and catching up. Let's try to maintain around 260 knots indicated.
Okay.
want to jinx it, but so far so good on my engines. It really
Yeah,
does.
let's
It
hope.
seems. It almost seems related to my throttle. Like every once in a while, when I'm using my throttle, it'll shut off all my fuel lines. Who knows? I don't know. I've been trying to figure it out for 2 weeks now, and sometimes it works, sometimes it don't.
Well, that one guy is still back at the airport in the Vision jet.
Yeah, he hasn't taken off yet, has he?
So he may not be with us. He might have just been waiting for all these C-130s to clear.
He's in front and below me. He's at 2,000 feet.
Oh, okay. Because it shows someone is still at the airport. I thought
Yeah,
that was
it
him.
does. Yeah, I've seen this guy's name tag before too. I think he's flown with us before. He's never hung out in Discord, but he has flown with us.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I can't make out the name that's back there because it's in clouds. But yeah, I see. Yeah, he's with us.
Yeah, it's
I
finally
see.
starting to warm up around here a little bit. Last week it was like 20s, and this week we're more like in the 40s. So that's a big difference for us.
We just cooled off to the low 70s.
Even for Michigan, this is a little bit cold for mid-April.
Yeah, I slowed down.
Yeah, that's good and helpful.
I dropped to 6,200, 6,000 actually. Yeah, and I went off course.
We do that all the time.
Back on course.
Hey, Captain Hopper, greetings, buddy. How's everything going on this Friday? I see you weren't doing a stream today. Hopefully you're feeling all right. Yeah, there we go. Collected tick is just under me. He's not maintaining much of an altitude, but it doesn't need to. It's pretty flat around here. Getting the whole gang together. So let me show everybody another little handy tip for the autopilot. So you can change your heading bug just by moving your heading knob here, your heading set knob. Let's say we'll set that over here, just off to the left of our course. Now whenever you hit this flight director switch, put it down to manual, it will just start following the heading bug. It doesn't matter what your mode selector switch is set to, it doesn't matter what your radio beam coupler is set to. When you engage your flight director, and this isn't the same in all aircraft, but in this one, when you engage that flight director switch, you'll notice we'll start turning to the left here to line up with our heading bug. And this way we can kind of have a little more control over which direction we're heading, what we're doing. Like if you need to swing out a little bit to the left, maybe to hit an airport, you can just do that with the heading bug. And the good thing is, it's still, we still have our mode selector switch set to nav, and we still have our radio beam coupler set correctly. So if we disengage the flight director, we will automatically go back to the pink line here. So that's just kind of handy. At any time we can just have manual control over the autopilot, or we can leave it back up to the flight director, or I mean the radio beam. Like I said, it's a pretty simple autopilot system in this C-130. It doesn't have any real electronics or anything like that. It's all analog. But it works pretty well. It's simple enough, and it gets where you're going. It even has a really nice instrument landing system, which we will demonstrate. Not on this first airport. The first airport doesn't have a beacon for it. But the second and third airports for tonight will have an ILS beacon that we can just latch onto, and it will basically land the airplane all by itself. And that's always handy to have. You usually only get that in the larger airports. Hey, Area 10. How's it going, buddy? Tally ho, right back to you. Thanks for the wishes. So we're currently 61 miles out from our first stop here. Let's check out that airport information. Well, let's just choose the straightest in approach. It's recommending runway 5, but we don't need to go to runway 5 really, because I don't have much of a wind going on, so that's not much of a thing. So let's go ahead and call it runway 23. We're going to be landing on runway 23. It's relatively straight in. We're going to have to jog out to the left a little bit so we can swing in, but it's not too bad. Runway 23 is a huge 6,500 foot of concrete. It has an elevation of 76 feet. So when we get to Sierra Bravo Mike Sierra, count on runway 23, guys.
Do you have an ILS frequency for that?
Negative. There's no ILS on the first airport. The second and third airport, though, they do have ILS frequencies, and I'll be taking advantage of that.
Oh, well, because normally we just land at one airport and then... Oh, that's right. I see. Okay, you're right. Yeah, we usually land at 2 airports before flying one. Okay.
Yeah.
All
so
right.
our last 2 airports will be instrument landings.
Yeah, I forgot we had the touch and go airport.
Yeah, I'm hoping our buddy in that Cirrus jet is able to keep up with us. I know he's going to probably fall behind a little bit, but he can keep up for the most part. He's probably going to be about 20 knots too slow.
Yeah, he's back there pretty good. I see on the EFB, I can see his white plane pretty far back now.
I do like that aircraft a lot. I will probably schedule a flight for it before too long. It's I flew it last week just because I had to, and it was nice. I didn't mind it at all. So I'm going to slowly start bringing this bird down. I'm up past 7,000 feet. I'm going to bring it down to about 4,000 here. The way you do that is go back over to our autopilot box over here. Click the altitude control switch. And we have our pitch control knob. You'll notice as we're rotating the knob, it is bringing our vertical speed down a little bit. So we're not in a big hurry to drop down, but we'll start dropping down here just to get that 4,000 feet. We're still 44 miles out. Don't forget to pull back on your throttle a little bit as you're descending so you don't overspeed. So when we get to, I don't know, about 20 miles out from the airport, I am going to swing out a few degrees to the left, and that will help us line right up with runway 23. Runway 23 is going to be right there, the heading of, that'll be the heading of runway 23. That's something that took me a surprisingly long time to realize. I had been flying Flight Simulator for a long time, back in the 80s and 90s and all this kind of stuff. And all of a sudden one day it dawned on me, it's like, oh, runway 23 is at heading up to 130 degrees. I don't know why it never dawned on me, but it took me a long time. It's just something that's so obvious people don't even talk about. So it just never dawned on me that runway 16 is at a heading of 160, you know. And that explains why there are no runways higher than runway 36. And yeah, I felt pretty stupid once I finally figured that out. But it's so handy knowing that little tiny bit of information. Like I said, it's one of those simple things that unless somebody actually says it, you don't realize it, you know. I mean, it's one of those, it's so obvious that people just don't talk about it. Alrighty, we're about 32 miles out. I'm going to be holding at 4,000 feet here. Hey, Andy Platter. Good to see you, buddy. Yeah, he says it's something that people taught him about 20 years ago. Yeah, it is super necessary, but yeah, it takes a minute to realize it, I guess. Let's go ahead and hit our altitude switch, and that will hold us just under 4,000 at this moment, but yeah, there we go, coming in. About 29 miles out from our first destination. A reminder, gentlemen, we will be coming in runway 23 at Sierra Bravo Mike Sierra. Pretty big runway, so we don't have no worries there. airport is off in this direction here somewhere. Might even be it. No, that's probably a little too close. And now that we're about 23 miles out, let's go ahead and jog a few degrees off to the left. That will help us line up. You'll also notice this little arrow here. This is pointing directly at the airport, or at our next waypoint. As we swing out to the left, you will see this arrow will start dropping, and when the arrow is roughly around 23 degrees, you know we can turn in and we'll be pointing roughly at the airport. Alright, swinging out to the left here. Yeah, Andy Platter, it's good to see you too, buddy. If you ever had the time, come join us. Yeah, we're here every Friday night. You know, we've been doing these Friday night flights for over 14 years. Hard to believe it's been that long, but yeah, people are always welcome to join. We have had hundreds of people join us over that time. We've had group flights where there must have been 30 pilots here. Lately, it's been just the 4 or 5 of us, but we still have a good old time, and we still keep doing it.
Off your right wing, Laser.
So Longhorn, last week you said you hooked up Starlink. You got rid of your regular internet and started using Starlink. You still happy with it?
Oh yeah, yeah. Called up and canceled my internet last weekend, and they said, "Oh, it takes 7 days." Of course, now they want to offer me like $30 off my monthly charge if they stay with them. Like, you guys should have did that before you had problems.
Yep. Oh, you've been having problems with those guys for a long time, and just weird problems too. I mean, like where your internet would just drop down to almost nothing out of the blue, over and over.
Yep. Well, yeah, I guess you guys said I sound like I was in like a robot or talking underwater half the time.
Yep.
And
well, that's good. I know you have basically one of those smart homes, so it's not having any trouble keeping up with all your little USB stuff or all your Wi-Fi things, lights and stuff like that. So yeah, that's very good.
Yep. It is. I mean, it's not. You know, it's only about a third what I was getting through my internet provider when my service was working like it's supposed to, but
right.
You know, I'm getting about 300 to 350 megabits out of Starlink, which is apparently it's enough because it hasn't dropped out on me.
Well, and as long as it's consistent, that's really all you need. You know, I mean, it doesn't matter how fast it is if half the time it drops to nothing. Yeah, my only the only time I've ever used Starlink is in my RV, but it's perfect for that. I love it.
Yeah, I looked into adding that on too, but they wanted like $500 for the mini antenna, and it's like, yeah, I'm not. If they would throw it in with my current home plan, and then I would just subscribe to it as I need it, but it's like, yeah, I'm not spending $500 for the 3 or 4 times a year I'd use it in the RV.
Right. Yeah, I'm not even using the mini dish. I'm using the full size dish, but I don't have it permanently mounted. When I get to my camping spot, I just put the dish up on the roof, and it's $50 a month. It works perfect. Well, it's $50 for 50 gigs, and if you go over that, it's $1 a gig. So that's, you know, the math trap. You know, the math works on that. But I love the fact that they make it real easy to turn it on and off anytime you need. You know, like you said, I only go camping, you know, 3 or 4 times a year. So all the rest of the time, I just go into the app and I just say turn it off, and I stop getting billed. And as soon as I'm ready to go on vacation, turn it back on, and I'll get billed for a month, and that's good to go.
I'm making a right to the runway.
Yeah, Andy Platter says he goes to a lot of remote airports in northern Canada, and Starlink access has completely changed those remote communities. Yep, it works pretty good. And like I said, it's consistent, even though my Starlink often complains that there's obstructions overhead. It's never a deal breaker. It actually still works fine, even though it says there's obstructions. It still works just as good as ever. And it's about time for me to turn final here. I notice.
Yeah. Or you got to go to the next waypoint.
I was so busy talking, I wasn't even paying attention. All right, let's disconnect our autopilot here, and we're flying by hand. This annoying yellow light here, you can turn that off also. If you look down here next to the radio beam coupler, there's a little recess switch. Click that, and that stops the blinking.
Yeah, of course, right now they have their special for $150. You can buy the antenna and the router. But I don't think it would let me buy the full-size antenna, the Generation 3 antenna, and go with the remote plan, because I think it locked me out of doing the remote plan when I chose my antenna, which is, I wanted the residential plan anyways. But
yeah, they have some unusual plans and stuff like that, but they're always changing. Even just like in the year that I've been using it, they've changed their policies a couple times. They haven't changed the pricing much, but they have changed. Actually, they've relaxed on a couple of the things. Like it used to be, you can't use this device on a mobile, blah blah blah, and then they changed that where they're like, yeah, just go ahead. Yeah, it's a good thing you guys are paying attention, because I just totally spaced out and went right past that airport.
yeah, I'm coming in a little too hot. It's a skinny runway, but it's long.
Yeah, we should have plenty of room. That's one thing in this Hercules. It does not want to slow down. I mean, you can have absolutely zero throttle, and it just wants to keep going, baby. It's a beast. The only way to slow down is to start hitting those flaps, but you don't want to hit them when you're going too fast. You know what I'm saying? So it's a real balancing act. Alrighty, Compass Coast, I'm going to be swinging in right behind you, buddy. I'm still a couple miles behind you, so you don't need to worry about me hitting you. This Hercules does have an amazing set of flaps, though. I love that big old scoop that it forms. Pretty nice big city here. Love it. Oh, once again, though, there's a lot of these cities in Brazil that are absolutely huge, and you don't see any skyscrapers or nothing. It's just nothing over 2 stories. It's a really big town. So go ahead and back taxi to the beginning of runway 23, and we'll be departing from there.
Anything wrong over there, Longhorn?
No, not that I know of.
just lost engine number 4. That's not good. Here I was thinking everything was working just fine. If it's only engine 4 though, that's no biggie at all.
Of course, my plane won't move now.
Really? Why's that?
It's rough. It's rough over here. It's bouncing everywhere trying to get back. Are you stuck in the mud?
I must be, because it's...
Brakes
let's see,
off?
yeah, brakes are off. Feel like I never even put them on.
Nice touchdown, Laser.
Thanks, buddy. Now I'm down to just engines 1 and 2. What in the world? This is going to be driving me nuts again tonight, isn't it?
Well, that's weird. It'll let me go into reverse thrust and back up, but it won't go forward. Oh, there
I
it
think I
goes.
got from behind you, that's for sure.
There it goes.
You got stuck in
I
there
just
somehow,
Yeah, I don't know what it was. I just hit the reverse thrust, and as I was going backwards, then I released the reverse thrust, and then it started moving.
huh? There you
But
go.
I had this thing at like full throttle, and it was just not budging.
Well, I am already starting to have these damn engine problems, and that's bugging
Yeah, I
me.
see you're shut down again.
Yep.
Yeah, I'll go down.
Yeah,
I'll go
all
down
4
where
engines.
Wingnut is.
Yeah, Andy, I wish it was I ran out of gas. That'd be easy to fix. One thing that does happen, though, is it always shuts off my fuel flow. But my fuel flow seems to be flowing at the moment. Well, for crying out loud, I'm just going to go ahead and restart at this airport, I suppose. Now, this is breaking my heart, man. This is my favorite airplane by far, by miles. This is my favorite airplane. I've had nothing but trouble with it for the last 2 weeks. Well, let's try this again. No, Andy, I don't think it's anything realistic as the cutoff valves getting shut off from the power levels. It appears to be that it's a straight-up control issue. It's something happening with my HOTUS. Last week when I went and reinstalled the drivers on my HOTUS, everything worked fine for about a day, and then they just went to hell again. So somehow I think it's a driver issue. That's I'm going to blame Windows. But you know how usually when you unplug something, I'm using Windows 10. When you unplug something, it makes that noise doo-doo-doo, and then you plug something into the USB, and it makes that doo-doo-doo. Mine stopped doing that about 2 weeks ago, which coincides about the time that I started having problems. And when I plug any USB device into my computer, it doesn't make a noise anymore. So I don't know if it's my computer or if it's the drivers or what it is. It's driving me nuts.
Well, hello.
Yeah, my throttle's being really weird to me. Once I come to a stop, even though I put full throttle, you can just don't hear the engines ramping up at all.
I'm trying to pull
But
up
if I-
here and get out of people's way.
Like right now, I got full throttle and I'm not moving.
Yeah, you might be having some of the same symptoms I have.
Yeah, it says
Because-
percent RPM. They're all at 100%, but my torque is all down at like on the red line at 20. And I'm just, okay, and all of a sudden now it just took off.
Yeah, exactly. I just had the same thing. When I loaded in, I pushed the throttle forward and it did absolutely nothing. And then I pulled back and pushed it forward again, and then everything went back up to 100. And yeah, that is one of the symptoms I've been having too. My RPM gauges, right now they're not looking too bad, but usually my RPM gauge is buried at 100, no matter what I do. Everything else moves, but the RPM is just buried at 100. It's weird.
like
I wish we could get to the bottom of it.
Yeah, I'm at full throttle right now, and I mean, I could walk this fast.
No, you might want to do a quick restart on that too.
Well, once I get moving, then it's okay. And like once I was in the air, it was fine, and it's not stopping anything. But
Well, you're not going to be able to
almost
take
like-
off going that slow.
I'm sure I will. Yeah, I'll just go back into reverse thrust just before I go forward. Because that, for whatever reason, that's what's kicking it into. I can hear my engines ramp up then.
Well,
Yeah,
with you
interesting.
guys with all these problems with your planes, I just want you to know I'm in a rescue C-130 tonight. So if anybody has a real issue, I'll be happy to rescue you.
You'll be able to come to the rescue. I'm looking at Compass Coast engines. His don't look like they're doing anything good either. Oh well. Time to take off, guys. Let's go ahead and get these birds in the air. Lazerbolt is rolling.
Hey, don't run me over. I've got a. There it goes.
As soon as I push power forward, my engines all quit. All four of them. Yeah. Well, son of a gun, I can't do this all the rest of the night. I'm just going to go ahead and switch to a different plane, I suppose. I really hate to do it. The C-130 is my favorite beast in the world, but I can't have another flight where we're doing this. I'm going to switch to that Dehar.
Okay, I'll make a loop around the airport. I didn't want to back off since I finally got my throttle going.
Yeah.
Don't mess with it if it's working. Yeah, it bugs me too that I thought I'd had it solved. I really did. For a couple days it was working just perfect. Of course it doesn't when we're live, but when I was making the flight plan, it worked just perfectly. Well, supposedly this Dehar should be able to keep up, the TBM 930.
Yeah, you'll probably outrun us in that.
I have to watch my speed. And one thing that's nice about this new sim is they make it real easy to just start at an airport that's in the middle of your flight plan.
Yeah, that helps.
Oh yeah, it's super handy. In the old sim, you'd have to completely start over no matter what you're doing.
Sierra Bravo Mike, Sierra Traffic Lazerbolt Lima Alpha Zulu 2512.
All right, I'm gonna go ahead and roll, take off. You'll catch us.
Roger that. I'm right behind you at the moment, so good deal. This airplane doesn't look that fast. It looks just like your average, regular old single prop tripod, you know. But apparently, it's fast as lightning. It is a turboprop, and it's got some reverse thrust in it. So I'm gonna have to get used to this cockpit, though. This is the first time I've ever flown it.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I keep seeing it just because I've noticed the speed, you know. Certainly didn't have any trouble taking off.
Your tag still says you're in the 130.
I'm not surprised. It's,
Well, it
the
says
tag system's real
it
screwy.
says Lockheed C-130, but then after that it says TBM. You're in a mutant.
Okay, I also don't have a flight plan loaded, so that's not good. Let me fix that. Alrighty, back on track, and I think everything's just fine. Unfortunately, I probably won't be doing an ILS landing in this thing because it's the first time in it, and I haven't even checked out the autopilot controls. It's probably rather standard, but still. I will just follow that pink line. We'll get there. We have a number of lighthouses to check out today. Our flight plan will take us right past a couple of them. Really neat looking. We also have a cool bridge that we just have to fly under. Alright, getting back to that pink line. It's got a traffic radar, that's handy. Perfect. Although, it doesn't look like I'm going to be going too awful fast. I feel like I'll be lucky if I can go 230 knots. Right now I'm going about 210, slowly gaining. My engine's overheating.
Really?
Yeah, it's just I had the flash, I had the needle buried, and it was just telling me to pull back on the throttle a little. But yeah, right now I'm about 204 knots, and that's about as fast as I can go. That's a far cry from the 330, it said.
Yeah, then maybe you got something holding you back there. I could have swore when I flew.
If you brought that up to like 30,000 feet, I'll bet you could hit it.
Yeah, that's way higher than we need to go, but you're probably right. I feel I would have been better off in that Vision jet. Although, I feel like our buddy that was in the Vision Jet already gave up, stopped following us. Yeah, Andy, I could probably monkey around and try to find all the nav and the autopilot type functionality, but right in the middle of the flight is not the best time for me to start monkeying with stuff like that. I'm just going to try to get to the end of it, and I'm just trying to follow that pink line, buddy. I'm not about to just start flipping switches and stuff in an airplane I'm unfamiliar with.
Oh, come on. I do it all the time.
I do it all the time too, and it never goes well. I'm sure if I started flipping through the pages of this glass cockpit here, I could find everything I'm looking for.
What kind of speed you got now, Laser? I can back down. I'm at
It ain't much.
220.
I'm maintaining about 225 to 230. I'm trying to level off. I'm trying to go ahead and level off here a little bit. It'd be nice if I had at least an altitude hold going on. So I'm going to definitely try to find that. But I ain't going to be doing an ILS landing in this, that's for sure. Yeah, I'm having trouble even trimming it nice and level.
Did you see my drone outside your plane, Wingnut?
No, I don't see a drone.
Check out the group flight.
Oh, well, okay. Yeah.
I wish when I took a screenshot in VR, it would actually just pick one lens.
Down to something a little more reasonable altitude. I'm over 10,000 feet. Dropping her down. See if I can get this thing to level off all by itself at 6,000.
Looking at your picture, it shows my C-130 and then as a rescue aircraft.
How did you get the rescue one? Because I tried to see if there was like a livery or something I could choose for mine. I'm just stuck with the Alaska one.
I found it on flightsim.to.
Oh,
There's some on there that I couldn't get to work, but there was a couple. There was one Antarctic livery, and then this rescue one that I was able to make work.
huh. Well, that's weird because all the ones that came from Captain Sim don't work, but you can get some of the other ones and they do.
Hey, did you guys notice?
Does it look
that
any
the,
different?
Yeah, it's got the yellow wingtip, yellow stripe back by the tail. It says rescue right on the tail.
Okay.
And
You notice at the top of the group flight info page here in Discord, Wingnut posted a video of a company that's working on another C-130, and it looks pretty nice, I gotta tell you. But if you notice that, it's at I left it up here. Usually I wipe the slate clean every week on the group flight info channel, but that was an interesting video, so I left it up there for you guys to check it out. Remember we were talking last week that we heard a long time ago somebody else was making a C-130 and couldn't remember nothing about it. Well, that's those guys.
Were the Blackbird simulations?
That's the one, Blackbird Simulations.
yeah, the video's still up there. A YouTube video of them showing it in works, and it does have the glass panel. It looks pretty nice. It's been in production for the last 4 months though, so they didn't have a date.
It's supposed to be for 2024.
Yeah.
That might be worth looking into. I think they put out some pretty good stuff.
Yeah, like I said, if you scroll to the top of the group flight info page here in Discord, and there's a video, and it's pretty neat. It pretty much just goes over some of the autopilot functions and the navigation features, but you can tell that if they put that much work into that part of it, the rest of it's going to be nice too.
Yeah, it's an actual like the J model, the new one, the new Herc that's out. So it looks pretty cool.
6-bladed prop?
Yeah. It looks I'm not used to all the glass panels yet, but I'm working on it, but it looks complicated. It's like the C-17. I flew that over the weekend playing around with it, and it was complicated too, but it works okay.
So as we continue forward, we will eventually see a point of interest marker for the Calcanhar Lighthouse. Let's do a left-hand circuit around that before we continue. Yeah, it's definitely a far more advanced version than the one we've been flying. Just a more modern one, and hopefully a little better made. I don't have too many complaints about the Captain Sim C-130. The sounds are a little bit weak, but other than that, it's a pretty nice bird when it works, for me. Seems to be working for everybody else, so I don't know. I had a guy comment on the video last week saying that he had a similar issue, but with him it was even affecting Flight Sim 2020. He said he figured it out when he discovered he had multiple things mapped to the same control. So I thought, well, that makes sense, but I checked that out really good, and that doesn't seem to be my issue. Like I said, I think my issue stems from my drivers are all corrupted, and that's with all of my panels, not just my HOTAS, but you know, my switch panel, my autopilot panel, radio stack, all that stuff. I suspect it might have something to do with the last couple months I've been using a USB hub, just out of convenience sake, so I could plug all 4 things into it and then just plug it in, and that screwed up my drivers, because it was during the time that I did that that I noticed when I start plugging stuff into my computer now, it no longer gives me that, it doesn't give me that little tone saying that Windows is automatically searching for a driver. You know how like when you plug something in, it'll even say Windows is setting up your device. My computer no longer says that. My computer don't even say that no more. So I think it was my USB hub that screwed all that up. Not sure how to fix all of that, but that might be the root of my problems.
I'm assuming it's a powered hub.
It was not a powered hub. No.
Ooh, maybe try a powered hub then.
Well, I'm not even using a hub. I'm just plugging it straight into my
Oh.
computer now. And,
Oh, okay.
And,
Yeah,
it,
yeah.
and it still doesn't do, like I said, when I plug anything USB into my computer, it doesn't even search for drivers. I have to do it on my own.
Hmm.
Yep. Yeah, it's a weird thing. Windows. But something like this is so hard to diagnose, you know, it could be anything. Hardware, software. It seems to only affect my C-130. Other airplanes seem to be okay. This thing, I suspect that it should be a little bit faster than this. I don't know why it's going so slow. Maybe it's also having a problem.
Yeah, it's supposed to be faster than what you're talking about.
Well, I'm having a little bit of an issue now. All of a sudden, things just got weird. And everything's going back to normal now. I don't know. I've been pulling my hair out for 2 weeks trying to figure this out, and it's just driving me nuts. And like I said, I thought I had it all figured out until today. The last couple of days it was working just fine.
Is it a USB 2 or USB 3 port?
Well, all of my plugs are USB 2, but my ports are all USB 3. They're reverse compatible, so it shouldn't be a problem. It would be a problem going the other direction, but it shouldn't be. I shouldn't have a problem plugging a, you know how like the USB plugs on the center, if it's white it's USB 2, if it's blue it's a USB 3, and if it's the little tiny one it's a USB-C, and I don't use any of those. But all of my plugs, my HOTAS, all of my radio stacks and all that, that's all, it has the white plastic center, so that's USB 2. It should work fine if I plug it into a blue one. And it used to work fine, used to work just fine, like I said, until I started using that hub, and all of a sudden USB, like I said, when I plug something into my computer, it doesn't even act like I plugged anything in, other than the fact that it all lights up and it appears to work. Like right now I got a brand new microphone, it's a USB mic that I'm using right now. I plugged that in and it worked right away. It didn't make the sound, which is a little odd, and it also didn't do the, you know, Windows is setting up your device. It didn't do any of that, but it seems to work just fine. That's why I thought I fixed it when I went to the Logitech site and I downloaded their latest drivers and I just manually installed the drivers, and for 2 or 3 days that worked fine. And I think Windows did something. Maybe the last time I shut down my computer, it just went back to the last set of drivers, which were all corrupted. But I don't know, could be something totally different. Like I said, it's really hard to diagnose this. It's driving me nuts.
Do you have any slop in your USB connection?
No. And I'm talking like all 5 of them. I have like 5 things plugged in and it's all screwed up. Yep. So what I did just for tonight's flight, well actually I started doing it a couple days ago. I unplugged everything except my HOTAS. I just figured I'll keep it simple and just use my HOTAS. I'm not using my radio stack or my switch panel or anything like that. And like I said, it worked just great for 2 days, and then comes the day of the flight and everything goes to hell. So yeah, go figure. That's personal confusers for you. I am maintaining a 235 knots though, so that's not bad. Pretty fancy looking interior on this. Be flying around some real VIPs. And I do see the POI marker up ahead for that lighthouse. I'm guessing this thing has pretty short takeoff and landings. Taking off, it took off real easy. It took off all by itself. I wouldn't even pull him back yet. And being that it has reverse thrust, we can probably stop and hurry too.
Yeah, it should be good. I see like 4 or 5 markers up ahead. I guess it's the one closest to the coast.
Yeah, I only got one marker. That's odd.
That's all I got.
I wonder if you
Really?
guys have
I've seen
some.
5 of
You
them
got some
popping up
stuff.
in front of me.
You got some extra stuff installed though, don't you?
Got none.
I'm not sure.
I got none.
You got 0 markers, eh?
Yep.
Well, that's a pretty good spread. Hey, I'm going for, you got 1, I got 5, and he's got none.
I'm right
the
behind Longhorn
consistency.
too.
Got a
you
lot of
should
windmills.
You should be close enough to see it for sure.
Yeah, the windmills are right below me, but seeing all kinds of little popsicle sticks up there in front of me.
Yeah, I just passed the big wind farm.
You up about 6,000 wingnut?
Say again.
6,000 are you at?
5
Roger.
and dropping.
Remember that picture I posted last week about that big rock we saw that had a big hole in it?
Yeah.
It was my I had downloaded a free South America mesh from Orbix for 2020 that it imported in. So as soon as I deleted that, I went back and flew back to that rock, and it looked normal.
Yeah, that's often
So
the case with a mesh issue. When something's not quite connected to the ground, that's the mesh almost always.
So I deleted that mesh from my community folder.
That's why I don't tend to download a whole bunch of stuff. I keep my sim nice and clean, and that's why it works so good, right?
Well, it was fine until Microsoft updated Brazil.
yeah, up until they corrected it.
I had to do the same thing with Catalina because I had bought Catalina, which I like my version that I bought way better than what Microsoft when they updated it. But I was getting like double buildings and flagpoles and all kinds of weird stuff. So I disabled the Microsoft version, and now it looks really good.
Yeah, I wish Microsoft would release a like Midwest USA update. It'd be nice if it was a little more accurate. I'm just especially talking about my own hometown here. It generally looks okay. You got all the roads in the right place. I was able to find my house, but things like I live in a small harbor town, real small town, right on Lake Michigan, right on the west coast. And our defining feature of this town is we've got this giant lighthouse, and that's people come from all over the place just to check out our lighthouse. and it's not in the game at all. Zero. No sign of it whatsoever. It's just completely not there. Which, I mean, that's odd, you know.
Don't feel too bad because one of the tallest ones on the West Coast is not modeled in this either, in either version. But if you fly over it, you can see the photo imagery of it. It's just a big flat round circle.
Right where it's supposed to be.
And the shadow, because it's like 600 feet tall.
Right. Well, you'd think that shadow would help the photogrammetry figure out what's there, you know.
Yeah.
I think we're getting close to it, right?
We are getting close to
Oh,
it.
yeah.
See the little nub that's sticking out of the coast over here?
Yeah, off to our left a little bit. Well, in front of us, actually.
Yep, straight
9
ahead.
miles out. Or I'm 9 miles from it.
Yeah, maybe you've got your POI markers turned off is why you don't see it.
Maybe I could try and see if I can turn them on someplace.
Yeah, because the white marker showed up for me when I was about 20 miles out, and now it's got the little white star ball thing at the top of it at probably about 10 miles out, and I think at about 3 miles it actually will label what it is.
Same for me. I got the star ball.
So you're within 10 miles of it then.
It says my thing right here. I'm 7 miles.
Okay, it just popped in the name of it at about just over 5 miles out. The Callan something lighthouse.
Left cycle here.
Yeah, left-hand circuit.
And
Yep,
like you
the
said, this plane
Calcanhar
doesn't.
Lighthouse.
Okay, now I do see 2 other markers or 2 other POIs way off to the right.
Yeah, we'll be visiting those as well. That's a bridge that I would love to fly underneath, and some kind of a little fort. Another one of them star-shaped forts, little fortress.
Okay. Well, you got the plane for it because that thing turns a lot quicker than these things do.
Yeah, I'm about to find out what kind of a turn radius this thing has as I do a little circuit around that lighthouse.
Yeah, well, when you took off from that airport back there, you like turned in like half the radius I was able to turn in.
Yeah, this thing for sure turns quicker than the C-130.
Yeah, it's a pretty decent looking little lighthouse.
Yeah, I
Looks
like
like a
how it
z-
didn't just pop in either. It was there from miles and miles away. It
Like
didn't
a
just
zebra.
wait till we got closer and then pop in out of nowhere.
Oh, I love this time of year. I got my window open in my office and it's like probably 60, 65 degrees outside and I got a breeze blowing in.
If I opened my window, I'd be freezing. Oh yeah, it's got the stereotypical stripes on there like it should.
Yeah, we have one at our harbor, built in 1833.
Ooh, it's a nice old one.
Yeah, C-130 is not meant for sightseeing.
You're kidding me? All I can see is blue. Every time I try and tighten it a little tighter, this thing starts to groan on me.
Yep, it's making some screen. Did you see the lighthouse though?
Yeah, I came in. I came right past it, so I could see it at least once.
Okay. Nice little town here.
Yeah, it is.
Makes me want to visit.
Alrighty, I'm going to get right back on course. Like I said, we're heading over to those other 2 POIs you can see in the distance. We'll be heading straight for them. I believe the one on the right is a bridge, the one on the left is the other one. So I am going to go underneath. I'm going to go under the bridge when we get there and then take a left turn. And as we do a big sweeping left-hand circle around it, we're not too far from our next airport after we get done doing that. It's all in the same town. That was going to be one of our ILS landings, but there's no sense of showing you how to do an ILS landing in an airplane I'm unfamiliar with. Especially when it's kind of simple in the Hercules. I like how it works in the Hercules, man. It's pretty neat.
Okay, yeah, I got 3 markers now.
Yeah, a third one just popped up for me.
Well, I sure hope they don't ever get rid of the lighthouses, because they're all pretty much obsolete now. They don't need them anymore with all the navigation that everybody's got. But they changed the light for we have 2 lighthouses that are within about an hour and a half, 2-hour drive of me. And on one of them, they actually changed the light from the original light when the lighthouse was built to just this like little LED light now that's super bright. It's got a mirror on it that shines, I guess, for miles, but they don't use it for navigation. They just kind of kept it for historical sake.
Right.
They could also use it for like the boaters that we have, the casual boaters that don't know how to use technology. You know those guys.
Yeah. Well, our lighthouse is kind of a hybrid of old-fashioned and new-fashioned. It has a big sign on it. As you're leaving the harbor, it says write down this frequency, and it's got a frequency that you can use with your radio. It says if you need the lighthouse, click your receiver 5 times on that frequency. Just click, 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 click.
Oh wow! Just like turning the lights on an unmanned airport.
And it'll turn the lights on. So if you really need it, you can get it turned on just by using your radio. I thought, well, that's kind of clever. Say, guys, when we get to, it's going to be Augusto Severo International. This will be after we check out this POIs. Anybody who's interested in the ILS frequencies, we're going to be landing on runway 16 left. Count on 16 left. The ILS frequency for that is 109.3. So 109.3 for runway 16 left.
It's see if I can remember how to use this.
It's even bigger than that last airport. It's 8,500 feet. Ooh, that's a doozy. Asphalt.
So do you remember how to use the ILS in this thing? I know you're not flying it, but...
Yeah, I did. I just did it a couple times just to familiarize myself with it. Go down to your radio beam coupler and set it to FSS, and then set your mode selector to ILS 1. And before you do all that, make sure you input 109.3 into your navigation radio, which is just above your throttle.
Yeah, I've got that already set.
So yeah, just put your radio beam coupler, put that on FSS. And then
where's the radio beam coupler? Because I got the mode selector.
That's the thing. It's right next to your autopilot switch. To the left of it, there's that knob.
Oh, well, actually.
You know, it says like it's got like gyro, range localizer, and FSS. FSS is the farthest to the right.
Oh, AFF.
Oh, it's AFF. Okay, whatever.
Okay, gotcha. Okay.
Yeah, without looking at it, I couldn't remember exactly what it was called. Yeah, and then make sure you have your mode selector switch set to ILS 1, and have your flight director not on manual.
So I should be good to go. See what happens when I get close. Must not be locked in because it's. Oh, okay. We're not anywhere near that airport yet.
No. Yeah, it should. You'll notice all your gauges on your navigation ball. You'll notice all that move around when you get within about 26 miles.
Yeah.
And then when you get within 20 miles, you'll see the glide slope indicator.
Okay.
But like I said, that'll be after we visit the Newton Navaro Bridge. Yeah, like I said, we can go under that bridge and then take a left-hand turn, and that should, if we take a big wide sweep, that will line us right up with Sierra Bravo November Tango. Oh, that's right. That third point of interest off to the right, I remember. I didn't even bother marking that. We can fly over it if you want to, but it's just another, it's a stadium. You know, there's, yeah, it's like we've checked out hundreds of stadiums and they're all the same. It's just a big soccer stadium. I suppose, though, if you're a local, you would like that marked. I suppose maybe next week I'll get ballsy and try that other, that default, that giant cargo hauler kind of thing. I forget what it's called, like an A300 or something like that.
A400.
Yeah, that
Good
one.
luck.
Yeah, I've already flown it once, and I couldn't wait to get out of it. It's
Yeah,
just,
I tried
it's,
it
you
again
know,
and I crashed it again.
yeah,
I can't keep the darn thing in the air. It keeps stalling on me every time I slow down, and you know, it's once it stalls, you can't save it. It's gone.
yeah. It looks like it would be like a close approximation to the C-130, but it is not. It is absolutely not. I understand
No.
that it has a pretty good STOL, short takeoff and landing, comparable to the C-130 apparently, but I don't know. I was having a rough time in that thing. It's pretty
Yeah.
finicky.
Yep. I stall it almost every time. I can handle the C-17, but man, that airplane does not like me.
C-17. Oh, okay, yeah. That's the one that we used to have, that free one, right?
Yeah. That's the one Coast used to handle like he manhandled that. Well, I don't know why I don't see him flying it no more.
I've never tried it in the new sim.
Yeah,
It's
I think
different.
the one in the new sim I think is by the same people that put out the other free one.
It's a little more detailed, and you can actually add cargo in there. You can put
Bridge.
helicopters and stuff.
Yeah, we are coming up on that bridge, so here we go.
I'll see if Coast fits first.
It's the middle of it's pretty wide. We shouldn't have any
Is
trouble
it?
fitting in it.
Okay.
I'm going to come in from the ocean side and then go under it that way and then take a nice left-hand turn. I'm really hauling ass though. Maybe I won't make it.
So go get her, Coast.
Yeah, that's plenty wide enough. Hey, Coast.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. All you guys are going through.
Yeah, it definitely is bigger than it looked from a distance.
Yeah, it's pretty big. The Forto del Rio Magos. Let's give that a quick look-see. And like I said, after we finish this long sweeping left-hand turn, we should be pretty much lined up with runway, what did we say, 16 left?
Well, it's a big city with all these skyscrapers.
Yeah, I wonder what city this is. This is not Rio. but it's another one of the big ones.
Starting to see some live AI ships popping in down there in the water.
Yeah, I got some massive cargo haulers down there.
Yeah, this is a modern city.
How are they going to defend this huge ass city with this little tiny fort? Oh, I could have went through the bridge again if I was paying attention. I went right
Where you
over.
going? I'm following you, Ignat. I'm right on your tail.
It's a nice looking bridge.
It is.
They did a good job on it.
I didn't notice if there was traffic going over the top. But at least there's not traffic going underneath it.
I splashed the water that time.
You follow me under?
Yeah, I was behind your tail. I was right on your tail.
Man, I had to come in at a real hard angle. I didn't know if I was going to make it straighten the back out.
I did the same. I did the same sort of crash type.
Yeah, if you followed me, you probably did the same thing I did. We're lucky they got under there.
I'll try it again.
Now I'm going to see if I can do an ILS approach. I'll get back around here and get lined up.
Yeah,
See what
yeah.
happens.
Make sure you give yourself plenty of distance so you're underneath that glide slope. Because right now we're pretty close to it. A reminder: when we get down, let's take a couple-minute break. This is our penultimate stop for the evening. I'm going to grab a cocktail and steady my nerves after this C-130 hassle. Yeah, like I said, you want to be at least 26 miles out before you start searching for the ILS beacon. And at that point, it'd be a good time to be roughly, oh, I don't know, under 4,000 feet, so you're underneath the glide slope. Lasers lined up, runway 16 left. Coming in pretty fast. Let's see how good these reverse thrusters are. Oh, it's already slowing down real nicely. Very good. This will be no problem at all.
Sync rate. Sync rate. Pull up. 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 Pull up.
Yeah, very easy. So I'm going to back taxi to the beginning at 16 left and wait for the show. Wait for the landing show. The ILS frequency's going on. My ticket from the FAA is in the mail, Andy says. Yep, I'm sure I'd be getting fined on every single flight we fly. Yeah, this TBM flies pretty nicely. I just wish it was, I don't know, maybe 20 knots quicker.
Yeah, I see lasers down over there. 1-6 left.
1-6 left. It's a big one. It's over 8,000 feet, so it's pretty easy to spot. I chose 1-6 left because it was the only one with an ILS.
Wing nut, following wing nut in.
Well, you're in good hands. My man knows what he's doing. So what do you guys think of this new mic I have? Does it sound, well, it's got to sound better than that weird buzzing noise my other one
It
was
sounds
doing.
good.
Sounds good? Right on. It was cheap. I mean, I didn't spend a whole lot on it. I think it was 16 bucks. But it's a nicer one than the one I was using. It's nicer than my $2 one. Coming in looking good. Yeah, I really wish they did a better job showing landing gear when you're coming in. I mean, you're literally right in front of my nose and I can't see your gear. I mean, even FSX did a better job than that. Oh, what happened to you, Longhorn? I don't see you even on the map.
Yeah, I'm trying to do this ILS thing, and it's just taking me away from the airport.
Oh, I see you're heading out over the ocean.
Yeah, it's not even coming close. I don't know what the heck's
Make
going on
sure-
with this thing.
The one thing I didn't mention is after you do your radio beam coupler and your navigation switch, make sure you put your course heading, the knob to the right of your heading knob. Make sure you put your course heading on. I'm assuming
Should be
it'd
141.
Oh, maybe that's why I have it on 16.
Yep, that should
Yeah,
do it.
course. I think course is 141. I did it kind of late, and I think mine was trying to lock on, but I was already
Right.
too far off.
Yeah,
Okay,
it's
so
usually
let's
it'll
do-
be somewhere in the neighborhood of 160. Certainly not 16. That's where you're heading directly away from it. I see you turning now, so that's a good deal.
141. Let's go back and reset everything back to what we want.
I got a bunch of cows over here on the runway and the taxiway.
Cows, you say? No, I've got nothing like that. Got a bunch of orange signs.
It's dark on me now. It's
Oh, wait a minute.
almost dark.
I might have cows. Are they just kind of laying down?
I'm standing here walking around all over the runway, right at 16 left marker.
Nope. That must just be in your world. My world, no cows. You know what, now that we're down to the last leg of the flight, I am going to go ahead and I'm going to switch back to the Hercules and see if I can get that thing going again. We've only got one leg left. I can suffer through it. You guys are making me jealous doing all these ILS landings and stuff.
Longhorn, I did tell you wrong. Laser was right. It's 161 degrees magnetic for
Okay,
your course.
you got it.
Yeah, it's usually within a degree or two of whatever the runway is. Like,
Yeah,
runway
I-
16, it'd be
I-
160.
Drew a blank when I set it at 16.
Right.
So let's see if this works out any better now.
Here, I put a picture of my rescue 130 and the cattle.
Oh.
There could be sheep. I don't know on the runway.
They are. They're all over the runway, aren't they? That's a nice looking plane. I like that. It's simple. Just has a nice yellow stripe going on. Yeah, very cool.
Natal Tower, Lazerbolt, Lima, Alpha, Zulu 2512 ready for departure runway 16 LIFR to receive A.
Come on,
We're Longhorn.
Hercules, don't fail me now.
I'm about over the bridge for the 14th time.
Oh, you just ran over my cattle.
Oh no. Well, we should have some nice fresh burger then.
Probably tastes like oil now. Oil and rubber.
Yeah, that's right. That's about right. Yeah.
All right, I think it's going to work this time. I can get this plane to slow down.
That's the key right there. The bird does not like to slow down. Mine wants to slow down so much it'll just shut the engines off.
There we go. Now it's turning.
All right, it's working.
My autopilot just says pilot switch. Is that what it's supposed to say?
That yellow light that's blinking?
Yeah, or the autopilot switch. The switch on the GPS area.
Oh, yeah, yeah. Yeah,
Says
that's
pilot switch.
It just says pilot switch. Yeah, that's the autopilot main right there. When you click that on, it'll just hold you in a steady climb in a steady direction, and you'll keep going.
Let's see if
That's
these
a nice
guys
smooth
slow
landing
enough.
there, Longhorn. Look at you. I even saw your gear right at the end. Yeah, so basically the switch on the left is your autopilot main, and the switch on the right is your altitude hold. When you get to the altitude you'd like, just hit the altitude hold and you'll level out. Well, that was a nice landing.
Didn't line up quite with the runway. It came in at an angle, but at least it hit the runway.
Right. It's often off a little bit.
You didn't see the cattle either, Longhorn, when you was coming down?
Huh.
That's weird. I mean, they're just literally standing there's 2 or 3 of them behind Laser's airplane, and there's 4 standing right dead center of the runway.
Well, I got to say this. I didn't see him either, so I was catalyst.
Oh, man. Is Travis here? Yeah, that's a case-by-case basis. It just kind of randomly generates animals for you, no matter where you are, but it doesn't broadcast them to other people. So when we get to our final destination, which is Guararapes, Gilberto something or other, we'll just call it
It's that got
Sierra Bravo
3
Romeo
ARs in a row or
Foxtrot.
something? The name of that thing?
Sorry,
That
Coast.
place
What
is-
was it?
It's got 3 ARs in a row.
Yeah, that's why.
Art.
Guararapes. Anyway, we'll be coming in on runway 18, which also has an ILS frequency. When you're ready for the numbers, the ILS frequency for runway 18 is 110.3. So let me show the group here what to do. What you do with your ILS frequency is, see this, you got your 2 navigation radios up here right above your throttle and your condition levers. We'll go over here to the ILS for nav
110.3.
110.3.
You got an angle for me?
Well, being that it's runway 18, let's see, it says
180.
angle of 183 degrees.
Right.
But you can't enter that until after you've already engaged your ILS line there, when you've got your navigation thingy going. But anyway, it will be at a heading of 183 degrees. We're looking at the biggest airport yet, 9,000 foot of asphalt going on. So we've got our frequency set for 110.3. We'll go down here to the radio beam coupler. That's this here switch. Make sure that is set for AFF. There you go. And then up here, make sure your mode selector is set for ILS 1. There you go. And now when we get within 26 miles of the airport, it should engage the ILS.
I hope
the
they got
ILS
lights
line.
at that runway because it's starting to get dark.
Yeah, I started in the middle of the day, luckily, so I'm good to go.
Well, this one's got lights, so I imagine the other one would too.
Well, all right, gentlemen, let's go ahead and get these birds back up in the air. My Hercules is working for the time being, and I'm going to call that a good sign. We're going to be taking off generally to a south direction here, and we're going to be landing generally on a south runway.
Got them cows running now.
So put a whole bunch of those in your cargo hold. I bet you make some money off of those.
I just crashed my plane on the ground.
If you hit them just, if you hit them just right, you can make ground beef out of them with your props.
Love ground beef.
We call them round ground.
Well, gentlemen, let's get these birds back up in the air. Lazerbolt is rolling. Well, Andy Platter, you have a good night too, buddy. Heading out for the night, you say? All right, have a good night. It's good seeing you with us. Drop in anytime, man. You can fly with us anytime. We're here every Friday. By the way, if anybody would ever like to join us in flying, we are here every Friday, and we share the all the airport information and the airplane information in the Discord and in the description of the flight. So yeah, please join us. Everybody's welcome. If you're looking for a good way to get the sim itself, it is available on GamePass. You can get it on GamePass. You can call it for free if you want, but you do pay for GamePass. But it's available on there, and that's a good way to get it. already. So far, so good on this bird. Alright, like I said, when you want to engage your autopilot, just go down here and hit the autopilot main. And it will keep you at a steady heading and a steady climb. I'm climbing rather steeply right now, so I'm going to pull that back a little bit.
Now your description says you're in an Asobo passive aircraft TBM 930 / C-130.
It's just going to keep adding descriptions and it'll run out of room sooner or later. Trying to get our vertical speed here to something reasonable. I think I'm going to climb up to about 6,000 feet and hold her there, guys. Then when we get ready for that ILS landing, I'm going to drop her down to 4,000. Now to get back on course, let's set our heading knob over here. Set it to roughly south. Now, like I said, when you hit the flight director switch, it will ignore everything else and just start following your heading book. Looks like I'm going to have to turn on my instrument lights. Those are turned off for some reason. Much nicer. Copilot still has dark instruments over here. Let's see if we can fix that. And we're good to go. Bring my speed back down to somewhere near 260. I'm quite fast right now. Once again, I wasn't paying attention to my altitude, and I burned right past 5,000, 6,000. Just hit that altitude control switch, and there we go. I really wish in this Hercules you could just set an altitude. Just say, go to 6,000, because I always forget that I'm climbing.
Yeah, sometimes I do too. I'm at 6. What are you gonna?
I'm almost 7 here. I'm about 6,700 feet. I just got to remember when we get close enough to that airport to drop her down to about 400 or 4,000, I should say. So coming in underneath that glide slope when you're at 4,000. Remember, we're going to be coming in runway 18 in Guararapes. A nice sturdy cocktail always makes it feel like Friday. I see you got your bird back up in the air, Coast. You said back to that airport it crashed you just while you're on the ground, huh?
No, I'm in the air.
Yeah, unfortunately, in that video from what was it, Blackbird Simulations about that new C-130 they're working on, they didn't quite have a release date on that, and I understand they're hanging on to it to make it nice and perfect. Just from looking at the video and seeing what the guy was showing us, and really all the guy showed us was some of the autopilot and navigation and stuff, and it's got a really nice glass cockpit on the inside. It's a really high-tech version of the Hercules, but I'm pretty excited about that. I really like this bird. And I think if Captain Sim had some competition, their version of it would be even better too.
Yeah, I can't wait till they come out with it. I like this better because this is what I learned when I was working on them. But I would still love to have that new one in my inventory.
Mm-hmm. Well, quite honestly, some of the things he was showing about how to program the flight computer on there, I probably ain't going to be doing a whole bunch of that myself. I'm just going to rely on the EFB and, make my flight plan in the EFB and then just tell it to send it to my instruments.
Yeah, I'm not familiar with all that new avionics and how to set up that computer he's got. I forget now what he called it, but yeah, it looks pretty technical.
It is very technical, yeah. But it's one of those things to where if they're going that in-depth on that aircraft, that's a good thing. That just means that they're going to, they're working on every little nut and bolt and making sure that it's working properly.
Yeah, I hope he comes out with that. I would like to see him do an AC-130 too. I've worked with them too.
Yeah, which one is Fat Albert? Is that a J or a K or something, or?
Yeah, it's a J.
Yeah.
That's a Navy. I'm Air Force.
Right. I love the color scheme on that, and yeah, I've always been a big fan of the Blue Angels. However,
That's-
that AC, that would be the gunship version, wouldn't it?
Yeah, it is.
Well, that is a beast right there. Remember, who was that, Coast? Years ago, we had a guy who used to fly on Guns A Go Go. Remember that? He used to talk. Was that?
Yeah.
What was that? What was the guy's name? Brian?
McFarland.
Yes,
He
yeah.
was on. Yeah, he flew on the CH-47.
Yeah, he called himself Idleline. Yeah, he was.
Idleline,
Yeah,
yeah.
he was a nice guy. Yeah, I miss him.
Yeah, my son-in-law used to be in the Army. He flew on, he was a crew chief on CH-47s.
Yeah, that's what my dad used to fly in Vietnam. He was a Chinook pilot.
Good question. How do I press the altitude hold switch? I try to push it with my mouse, so it doesn't work.
Yeah, just left click on it. You got to get it just right. You know, you gotta. It's kind of a weird spot you have to hit. But just left click with your mouse, and it'll come down. Make sure that your autopilot main is on first, which it probably is.
Yeah, my autopilot main is on.
Yep. And then when you get to the desired altitude, just click that altitude hold switch. It'll click down, and there you go. It's kind of hard to get your camera down in there.
Yeah, if it
yeah.
turns blue, it flicks up. It turns it on on your hold.
And also, you have noticed those. It's got those great big dials on the side. The pitch control. That's how you can control your pitch while you're not holding your attitude. And then when you get to the right altitude, you can go ahead and click the altitude hold. Yeah, I changed all my controls for like when I'm in the cockpit, just so basically I can make it like I'm walking around. You know what I mean? Because they have the preset cameras, and you can make your own preset cameras, and that never worked all that good for me. I just make it so I can move. It's almost like I'm walking around, and then I can crouch down and I can look at stuff and I can zoom in.
Yeah, I use the control button. It's like control 1 through 0 gives me all the different cockpit views, and I think it's control 8 puts you right behind where that autopilot stuff's at.
Well, you're doing it the way you're supposed to. How dare you? Yeah, and Coast, like I said, you might notice when you get yourself all in a nice horizontal flight, you got your autopilot going, you can move your heading bug with right there by your directional indicator. The left-hand knob is your heading bug, and you can move that around, and when you change your flight director switch down to manual, it will follow the heading bug, which is handy.
Every time I try to put on the autopilot, it turns it off.
That's unusual. One thing that's handy about the autopilot, well, actually not handy, the only button that you can map to something is the autopilot main. You can map that right to your stick. All the rest of them, the altitude hold and all that kind of stuff, none of it you can map. You have to do it right in the cockpit. But at least your autopilot, you can turn it on and off with a click of a button.
I got my switch set to nav. Flight director is at normal.
Yeah. Is your autopilot on at the moment?
I turn it on, it turns itself off.
Weird. I don't know if I've seen that. The only reason
Have you
my
tried?
autopilot shuts itself off when I'm having engine trouble. But when everything's working like it's supposed to, it just goes.
I got 2 engines in trouble. 2 engines down.
Oh, that's probably it. I'm gonna enter my nav frequencies right now while I got a chance. Actually, I might have already. We said it was 110.3, correct?
Yeah.
Alright, I've already got that set.
My 2 engines came back on again, and I was able to do it, set it properly.
Nice. Not good though with the engine troubles. I think, yeah, we need to get to the bottom of that and figure out a good fix for it. Like I said, I thought I'd had it fixed, and it just went right back to being bad again. And yet other people never have that problem. So it's hard to diagnose, that's for sure. I am convinced though that it was plugging in all of my stuff through a hub that screwed up all my drivers. And it screwed up my computer's ability to recognize drivers. Like I said, now when I plug something in, it doesn't even act like I plugged something in. It doesn't make any indication whatsoever.
Did you just do mine just had well, I'm using Windows 10, but I just had to do an update yesterday on mine.
Yeah, I got Windows 10
Yeah.
as well. I also updated. Oh, I just lost engine 4. Great.
Yeah, let's see. Now you talked about it, and
I
that caused
did.
it.
Yeah, as soon as I was talking about it. All of my fuel seems to be flowing correctly, so I don't know what that's about. I hesitate to try to do an auto start in mid-air because that usually screws things way up. Oh, I just lost engine 3. Ah, jeez.
Do you suppose Captain Sim is doing this to keep us, you know, on not learning our emergency procedures?
No. I don't think they care enough about us to do that.
Okay.
Everything seems normal. All my battery switches are good. My fuel flow is good. I'm down to 1 engine now. Give me a break. I guess I'm going to try a mid-air restart. See how that does it. Of course, my autopilot shut off. Yeah, this just breaks my heart. This is my favorite airplane by far. And it's also a mystery that no matter what is going on with the controls or whatever is causing it, it doesn't seem to be affecting other aircraft. And that bothers me too. You know, it's like if it affected everything, it might be easier to diagnose. So my engines are trying to restart themselves. And once again, like you were talking earlier, Wingnut, maybe it was Longhorn that said that his all of the RPM gauges are just jammed at 100%.
Yeah, when I'm on the ground and I move my throttle to full throttle, the needle goes all the way up to the red line at 20, all the way across, and that little tiny gauge at the upper right corner of all those gauges all starts spinning, but you don't hear the engines ramping up. But if I hit reverse thrust, after about 2 seconds, then you can hear the engines cranking up. And then if I let off the reverse thrust, it slows down, but then they kick up to full speed, and then I take off. So something is like cutting. It's like the gauges look like they're working right, but the engines are not responding.
Yeah, it just cut all of my fuel flow switches, just turned them all off. I turned them all back on. It also turned off my engine 4 generator all by itself. I got gremlins in here screwing with my stuff.
I'm looking around. I don't see any aliens or anything in the area.
You know, Brazil used to be a big hotspot for aliens. I don't know if it is anymore, but we actually had a couple group flights that centered around the alien phenomena around here. Yeah, my throttle doesn't seem to be affecting my engines at all, no matter what I do.
I see you're falling back a little. I suppose that's normal when your engine's shut down.
Yeah, well, we're not too far from our final stop here, so I'm pretty sure I can make it. I'm still maintaining 220 knots somehow. Yep, and I've Googled everything I can Google and searched everything, and there's a lot of people having these problems and nobody's figured it out yet. I would just chalk it up to this plane is not made for 2024, except for the fact that not everybody's having the issue.
Yeah, that's what's puzzling to me too. Nuts.
Reset that so I can stop that yellow blinking light. Okay, engine 1 is showing signs of life. I still have no throttle control. Well, engine 2. Yeah, we'll have to fly something different next week. This is not acceptable. Maybe it's time we grab that goose and head down the Amazon River. That sounds like fun.
Yeah, goose would be fun. Oh, the albatross, goose, they're about the same speed, within 5.
Got my altitude hold working for the first time, or third time now. Well, it tends to turn itself off. That's what I don't like.
Yeah, it's pretty handy though when it's working. I've got 3 engines working all of a sudden. Mysteriously, they just fired themselves up. Still missing engine 4. That is just the... Once that one goes out, all the rest of them tend to do the same. Of course, it shut the fuel flow off to engine 4 again. At least I got 3 engines to work with, and that's better than normal. I do believe we must be getting close enough for the ILS, because my instrumentation just switched over. We are, yeah, we're 27 miles out. I don't know if I can still do an ILS landing or not, but might as well try. What did we say? It was runway 18, correct?
Yeah.
Set my heading to 180. Hopefully that's close enough. Fingers crossed. I'm going to turn this on and see if it starts following.
Well, I think mine locked on. It grabbed my airplane to the right, and
my airplane is really nose up, just trying to stay in the air.
You said the course was 183?
It's in that neighborhood. Within a
yeah,
degree
183.
Well, got my glide slope indicator going on here. I might latch on to it if I'm lucky. And no, it did not. Try to come in right behind you guys.
I believe I'm locked on.
I'm jealous. ILS envy big time over here. I have all 4 engines working like a champ at the moment. Look at me.
Just in time.
Just in time, yeah. You know what though? I almost feel like I can get this back in the ILS glide slope if I do it right. I'm already under the glide slope. Well, my airplane's doing something. I think I'm following right in line with you guys here. Good beans. Look at me. All 4 engines doing an ILS approach. I'll know for sure once that glide slope indicator comes below the horizon. If I catch on and start descending, that's good news.
Yeah, I just caught it at about 11 miles out.
Yep, I latched onto it 11 miles out and I'm gliding in. How nice is that? Yippee. Try to slow this bird down.
What city is this?
Well,
Looks like Gibraltar or
this is the
Gilberto or something.
Guararapes International. Yeah, Gilberto. I wish your EFB would tell you like what the city's called. It doesn't say anything.
Yeah, that'd be nice.
Even the map, when you're creating your flight plan on the big map, it doesn't say anything about nothing like that. Like, that's handy information, you know. I'd like to know that. This is a big place. There's skyscrapers and everything over there.
Ooh-wee, looking good, man. This thing's got me lined up dead center.
Yeah, I disengaged my ILS landing. It wasn't quite bringing me in. It was, the glide slope was working fine, but it wasn't pointing me in the right direction. Even though I had the course correct. This is a big runway. It's nice and wide too. So I noticed too, when it shuts down my engines, it turns off my instrument lights. Not just like it turns off the batteries, it literally rotates the knobs so my instruments are no longer lit. Just weirdness.
Oh, that's weird.
I know, it's just bizarre. It's just hard to diagnose. Somebody landed right on top of me. Longhorn. I mean, I suppose you could say I landed on top of you.
Yeah, I was on the ILS, just coming right through. That ILS came out perfect.
Right on
Yeah,
the
mine
center.
brought me right on dead center.
Yeah, a good ILS landing is always satisfying.
Of course, my throttle's doing weird stuff again, where I can't, like, accelerate off the runway.
Yeah, that's another oddness. I don't think I've had that, but usually my engines just quit. Doing fine right
See, and
now.
all of a sudden they just kicked into full. Whoop! They started to kick into full speed, but then they went back to slowing down.
Isn't that weird?
That's
They've got all
weird.
these jetways out in the middle of nowhere. They're not even connected to anything.
I ran into that at JFK, and I didn't know if it was because I have the New York City add-on from Fly Tampa, because there's like 2 terminals that have no buildings, but all the jetways are out there. Yeah, this is the same way. This is the same way that that looked.
That can't be realistic, right?
No, it's not realistic. It's missing the building. It's missing the terminals.
Yeah,
It
I was gonna
is.
say,
It
I
is.
mean, what are
Same
they?
for me.
They're gonna have people exit the airplane and they just land on the tarmac.
And that's kind of what happened when I flew into Malaysia. They made me they taxied to the end of the airport or the end of the runway and basically parked the plane and drove a little truck with a little step on it or stairs on it up to the side of the plane and told us all to get off.
Get.
And they came and took all our luggage off the plane and threw it in the back of a pickup truck and said, "Follow the truck. Then you can get your luggage when we get back to the building."
They made you chase the truck.
Yep. Well, they put us on a bus to go chase the truck. But it was an old converted military base in Malaysia to plane or regular flights, regular airport. So they still had a lot of military stuff there that they didn't want people to get into.
Right. Well, that was an interesting flight. Wish it went a little smoother, but went smooth for everyone else.
See, like I got full throttle right now, and it's just like walking at a snail's pace, and then all of a sudden, oops! Then all of a sudden it took off.
Yeah, I see that. It's just it goes from 0 to 100. I've got the jetway over there connecting itself to a jet. It'd be funny if you see a bunch of people just falling off the end of it.
Yeah, it would.
What was they? Were they lemmings that that they just kind of like follow one after the other, and they all just like drop off the face of the earth?
You guys remember that game called Lemmings? That was a lot of fun. I enjoyed that.
Yeah, that's what I pictured when you said all the people just be falling off the jetways.
It's weird that this airport be that screwed up because this is part of the New World Update.
Yeah, that's right. It shouldn't be this way.
Huh, that looks like something they should have fixed for sure. In a big airport like this is, you know, it's got to be a big, well-known airport to have it that screwed up.
Well, man, if you like a nice airport, Flight Sim TO has one you can install in your community folder at Wright-Patterson. And it's got all the military aircraft. It's got the museum. It's got everything. Man, it is nice.
I'm sure we've flown there before, but it didn't look as nice as that sounds. Yeah, that sounds awesome.
No, this is an add-on. I installed it from Flight Sim TO, and man, it is so detailed. It looks good. It's got KC-135 tankers, C-5s, C-17s, C-130s.
Jeez, all
parked everywhere. All the hangars, yeah, and then you can fly over where the museum part is too, past the base.
That was a nice landing there, Ghost.
That was one of my accounts when I lived in Ohio, the hospital there.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and I had spent all that time. I lived in Ohio for 6 years, and it's like I kept saying I need to get to that museum. 'Cause I never did go to that museum. And everybody kept telling me, yeah, you got to check out the museum sometime. But it was about probably 2 hours south of Toledo, so it's like it's enough. And when I come down here to work. I don't really want to come down here for pleasure. So, but now I'm regretting it. It's like, God, I wish I would have went to that museum.
Oh yeah, I would love to go in there.
Yeah, of course, that was a nice landing there, buddy.
I was at that museum in the 60s.
Nice.
I was born in the 60s.
They probably added a whole bunch of history since then.
I bet they have, sure, yeah.
Yeah, the only real time I've spent in an aviation museum was in Pensacola. They got a decent naval aviation type of museum there. Real nice.
Yeah, they did a good job on that one too. I lived probably 30 minutes from there when I lived in Florida. That's a nice one. Every time family would come down to visit, I'd have to take them down to the museum in Pensacola.
Nice. They all want to see it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I remember they had a really nice. They even had a. Gosh, I feel like they had a submarine somewhere nearby there too. You could check out.
Well, they had one over at Mobile, just up the road at
That might be
Battleship Museum. They had a submarine right beside it too.
like an old, like really old submarine.
I'm not sure about Pensacola. I don't remember seeing any, but I could have missed it. I don't know.
Pensacola for sure. They had that. They had a giant albatross right outside. And that's when I realized just how big they are. I mean, it looks like a goose, but maybe a little bigger. No, it's a goose, but a lot bigger, man. Way, way bigger.
Yeah, that's a fun one to fly here in the sim. That albatross.
Might have
And
to
you
check
can go
that
back
out.
in the
I might
hold.
have to check it out just to see
kitchen and everything.
the capabilities of it. Like how fast can that thing go?
I think it's 145, and
That's
the
nice.
Goose is 140.
That's right. I wouldn't mind flying that goose. There's plenty of water around here to land it in. Like I said, I think taking the gooses down the Amazon River and just kind of picking some spots here and there to go ahead and land and check out the beauty of it would be kind of a fun flight.
Oh yeah, that'd be fun.
Yeah, I might do that for next week. I know there are a couple of water runways already built right in that we could just kind of, you know, set our course to. And we can make a little flight plan that way.
Tried to get out and walk around my airplane, and it crashed. Flight sim to desktop.
Oh, is that what happened? I saw you disappear.
Yeah. Yeah, I hit Control C and had a big pop-up window on my screen. It said, error exception.
I wish I could figure out what's wrong with my Herky Bird. I love this airplane so much. I'm just looking at the three of us parked next to each other right now, and that is such a majestic sight. I love it. I need to figure out what
Yeah,
the
it's
deal
cool.
is. It's breaking my heart, and it's making me pull my hair out, trying to figure out why this thing just wants to. It's like it's got a ghost, man. It's got a ghost, and it just wants to shut itself off. And then it weirdly, and then it turns itself back on again. To me, this is just simply the most airplane of them all. This is the quintessential airplane. You see it in movies, you see it all. I mean, you don't even realize how often you see this airplane. This is just the most airplane ever. I love it. Give me more.
Longhorn, where are
Yes.
you?
I'm here.
He crashed
Can't
out.
see you.
My plane, yeah, the computer crashed, or actually the flight sim crashed when I tried to get out of my airplane.
This thing does all sorts of unscripted things.
It does.
Yeah.
Yeah, it does. It's a shame too because it worked pretty damn good in 2020.
What was the? Let me see if I can find it here. The airport we just landed at.
Sierra Bravo Romeo Foxtrot.
Okay, see if I can pop back in there.
Open my radome, see if you can see it.
No, you'll be
Let's
able to
see.
see it, but it won't broadcast to us. Actually, what you'll see is you'll see all of us with the radome open.
Oh yes, we all look like we have our noses up in the air.
Yep. Well, that's us. Let's open everything here and see what it looks like. Actually, it's pretty cool because when you open up the radome, you can turn the radar on. The radar goes in, which is a little odd because the animation for the radar seems to work really good, but the radar itself doesn't work. It's just highly animated. It looks neat. Mr. Ken Knapsack says, great to watch as always, Lazerbolt. All right, thanks for her relaxing flight. Absolutely, buddy. Yeah, I'm happy that you were able to join us. We always have a good time with these Hercules, even though mine's been causing all kinds of problems lately. By the way,
there we go.
if anybody likes good discussions and good Star Wars takes and just want to watch some streams with a really nice, intelligent fella, go watch Ken Knapsack. He's got these blathering shows that he does where 2 or 3 nights a week he gets on there and we have a good time. It's a great community. He also has a fantastic Star Wars knowledge, and he literally wrote the book on Star Wars called Why We Love Star Wars. And yeah, he's a great guy. I met him at Star Wars Celebration 2019, and please check him out. He's got some good stuff over there, and I think you guys would really like it. I know you guys well, and I think you would like the community over there. It's a lot of fun.
Are you talking about YouTube?
Yep, on YouTube. Just look up Ken Knapsack on there, and he's got some good stuff. Also, he's part of the Force Center broadcast where they talk Star Wars. Him and was it Jennifer and Scrimshaw? They all talk Star Wars, and they really have a nice positive take on Star Wars, which is 100% my favorite thing. Star Wars has been my favorite thing since 1977. Been a part of my daily life every day since 1977, and I'm really drawn to that kind of positivity. I love listening to those guys.
And what was his name again?
It's Ken Knapsack. Yeah. If you look in the stream, you'll see he just chatted in there. He's a hell of a guy.
I can see your stream here from within the Discord, but I don't see anybody else's comments or anything.
It's Napzak, Knapsack, or ZOK? Yeah, ZOK, Ken Knapsack. I'm just going to open up everything and see what this bird looks like.
I still would have liked to see us all with our noses in the air.
Well, all you need to do is open it up yourself, and you'll see everybody the same way. Like I said, it doesn't
Yeah,
exactly broadcast
at
it.
your end. Oh yeah, you got it.
Yeah, there we go. I like that radar dish inside, though. How it's going back and forth and doing what it's supposed to do. It's just funny that the actual radar in the cockpit never does anything. It just sits there blank. But the radar looks like it's working.
Are
Yeah,
we
that
still
was a
on
fun flight,
YouTube, on
guys.
YouTube Air right now?
Sorry, Coast?
Are we on YouTube Live?
Yes, yes. We've
Okay, I'll wait. I'll wait till after we're over with, and then I can tell you things.
yeah, what do you got, a fart or something?
No. It has to do with things I used to do.
I see. Oh, I see. Things they don't want you to talk about.
Yep.
Well, you used to program instruments and stuff like that, didn't you?
I used to be a contractor to the Air Force.
I see. I understand there are things they don't want you to talk about.
And it's been over 20 years since I've been out, so out of doing that.
Yeah, still though, like I said, my dad is a army helicopter pilot, flew Chinooks in Vietnam and stuff, and he was an officer and everything. And there are still things that he knows he should not discuss. But that's the nature of the beast, you know?
You're drilled into your head.
Yeah.
When you're
I mean,
you
not
sign
that it
all
would-
sorts of things.
Yeah, not that it would be an issue, but just, you know what I mean? He knows, just don't.
Funny thing is, I found some of this information in computer games over the years, so it's not as if it isn't known.
Right. Hey, Longhorn's back. It seems weird seeing you taxi around with your nose open and your ramp down. All your cowlings are open.
Not
that's
from my
just-
perspective.
No, that's just because I have it open on mine and I can see it on everybody's.
He's cleaning off the runway for us.
Yeah, there you go.
Hello. Hello.
Nose to nose.
Nose to nose.
Hi, Coast.
Hello.
Well, you can get one guy out there and work on both planes at the same time.
You got
It's
two pilots.
It's like dancing cheek to cheek, so to speaking.
Let me see. How close am I?
That's pretty close. Neither one of you
Yeah,
can
very
close your radome at this
Oh,
point.
I got another foot.
Thank you.
Well, gentlemen, this certainly was an entertaining flight. Like always, I enjoy your company a lot. I'm going to go ahead and shut the stream down now. But everybody who's listening and might be listening in the future, please join us one of these days. We would like to have the company. It's easy enough to join us. The game is available on GamePass. That's a great way to do it. And all of the information for the flight, including what we're flying and where we're flying to, is in the description of the video. And we would love to have you. We fly pretty casual around here, so you don't need to worry about breaking the rules or any faux pas or anything like that, because we just keep it casual and have a good time. We've been doing it for a long time, and we still keep having fun after 14 years. So, all right, guys, it was nice seeing y'all, and have a good night.